Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. Octane has revealed a new secret within Modern Warfare 2 that he believes the pros will be abusing to the maximum possible potential to gain a competitive advantage come the World Championship. This has been in the game for a long time now. Skies has been definitely using it recently as well, and apparently come champs, all the GAs might well go out the window, and this is going to be abused. Very much intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's dive straight in. Of course, everyone's preparing for the World Championship. Drazah says all in. I guess some sort of Vegas reference there. Full commit or don't commit to iLLeY. So iLLey's been definitely making waves. You know, he's back in business over the last few days, playing in some S&D tourneys, getting ready to go for next year, and at a perfect time, of course, because Rostermania is soon approaching. And even as Jacob Hell says a couple of days ago now, Thursday, June the 15th, CDL Champs kicks off. On the Friday, teams are getting eliminated, and as soon as they get eliminated, next year's Rostermania situation starts to emerge, right? The teams start talking at the bar, they start talking at the roulette table, they start talking at the poker table, and, you know, of course, because it's Vegas, and they start making decisions on what they might want to do next year. Of course, back in the day, it was the players that used to make all the calls. Nowadays, it's not so clear. The team has to get involved, there's contracts involved, there's agents involved. It's a bit more, you know, things take longer to achieve, and sometimes things aren't even achievable, like they seem to always be back in the day. But as Crone says, to be fair, some teams are already in the kitchen preparing to cook. Gonna be a fun one. So this actually implies, which it makes sense I suppose, because the teams at the bottom of the league, the Los Angeles, Guerrillas, the Londons, even maybe the Vegases, they might, and what they've done before, release their entire team, wait several months, and then just sign whoever's left type thing. That has happened before. It's certainly going to happen again, I think, with at least a couple of these teams down there. Florida, if they do become the Miami Heretics, they've got their own ideas. But this implies from Crone that some teams at champs, because, you know, Jacob L is specifically mentioning the teams at champs here that are going to get eliminated and make changes, and Crone says some of these teams are already getting ready to go. So you would imagine the Bostons, the Seattles of the world, right, given that Pred's probably already got 1.5 feet out the door, right, so maybe even 2 feet out the door, who knows. So definitely makes things pretty exciting. Just to look at a couple of teams actually here. So here's Los Angeles Thieves, their performance during the entirety of Major 5. We'll say it's kind of surprising in some ways to see Kenny, end of season Kenny, not have a great run here, because usually once Kenny turns up, as he did in Major 4, he's then very good for the rest of the year. I think Kenny might be, like, in terms of when a player is on their real game, their top performance level, how impactful a player can be, Kenny's right up there, right? Because when Kenny's playing well, like, this team looks super different, but didn't have a great Major 5, all things considered. Obviously, a lot of it was pretty bad online. They went 5 and 7 and hardpoint. They did actually win the majority of search and destroys, even though in control. So, you know, of course, Envoy, Drazah, Octane, Kenny. The only real standout from London was Nasty again. I thought he played particularly well this stage, actually. And yeah, the numbers, at least, you know, by the metrics on the other side of the teams, not particularly pretty. I wonder what London will do next year. Plenty of options for them if they want to build again around Nasty and Asim or something. But despite getting that one series win against Boston, their hardpoint record was 2 and 8, 1 in 6 in control. Like, it's just so ugly. Feel bad for iLLeY in some way, because I do feel like he's a player with more potential than we got to see. But sometimes that's just what happens when you join at some of these organizations. Some teams at champs, I thought this is pretty funny, to be fair, right? We had, I mean, look at this Thanos thing, and Simp and Sasha in the replies here. So maybe Slasher the make Championship Sunday, they've got to think of a New Jersey alternative. But Octane has been giving a lot of thoughts here on the state of the CDL right now, which teams are going to win champs, and also some potential drama come the World Championship as well. He's also the ultimate hill kitten. Money Hill stats puts this together, I thought was kind of crazy. I think this season Octane has sat in the hill for something like 1 hour 40 minutes, something like that, and over the last several years he's been in the hardpoint in a competitive game for 13 hours 40 minutes. This is how long we have, like, the stats back until pretty much. So in Infinite Warfare he averaged 76 seconds in the hardpoint per map. It was 82 seconds in World War II, 100 seconds in Black Ops 4, and then since then it's been you know, pretty similar numbers. So the game always varies a little bit in terms of what's, for example, in World War II it was very much the strategy to put your AR in the hardpoints and have your SMG slay out. In other games that hasn't always been the case, but regardless of the meta on that type of stuff, Octane is always in the hardpoint. So yeah, I wonder, like, how far he is ahead of second place here actually, but I thought it was kind of crazy to think about how long he's been in the hardpoints. But this is Octane's latest perspective on the live pinging. Now this was a bit of drama we talked about probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now. There was a clip that came up from Skies, I'll share for you guys here in a second as well, where where he manages to ping someone through a wall, especially on Hotel, this is viable, and because they're a moving target, they get pinged on that person's view. You can then shoot them clean through the wall. Now, when I saw this, I was like, damn, this is pretty cheesy. It's been in the game for quite some time. In some senses, I'm surprised the pros haven't abused this until now, but we know how it goes. The World Championship comes around, it's the biggest event of the season. Players often like to save strats and save wallbang spots and save ideas for the biggest event of the year that everyone wants to win, and this might be another, effectively, it's not precisely cheating, but it's not too far away in some sense.
Chat, you guys are going to see a lot of live pinging at Champs. That's like the meta. Now, I think that Caesar does a really good job of abusing it, and since they won, people are going to like start doing it a lot more. But you guys are going to see some unreal kills and unreal reads because people have Wallhacks. Like Hotel is like a perfect map. Like people are going to, like if you're coming from Godheady side, people are going to sit in the door at the top of the staircase. We call it lights, but top of the light staircase in that door, just shouldering Godheady over and over again, just live pinging. And then there's probably going to be someone in bedroom with an AR wall banging through the wall trying to kill him because he's just going to have a giant red diamond above his head. There's just going to be so many examples of shit like that. It's just criminal. This is just absolutely disgusting. Is there an option in game settings to disable it? I think on the current update there is, but not on the one that we play.
I'm playing engine. I'm gonna cross and beat him out. I crossed in the back.
Got it.
Yo, pinged him.
He went out mid P1.
P2 stairs dead.
Who's looking the best team in scrims right now? Kind of even across the board for the most part. We've played everyone except for Toronto. Everyone's kind of even, not gonna lie to you guys. That's what I'm saying. Like going to the event, it could be literally anyone winning, dude. Like it's just whoever plays better this weekend. Yeah, I don't know, chat. I think, I mean, like I said, everyone's pretty even for the most part.
So is this, as Octane somewhat fears, going to ruin at the World Championship? This was that clip I was mentioning here from the Skies, where he's coming in here on Hotel. Okay, he gets stunned, he jumps the corner, sees someone on the head glitch, manages to ping this, and therefore it actually attaches onto them, and then he can see this red diamond through the wall, goes over here and just bangs him straight through the wall, no problem at all, despite the fact that that guy had no idea what was happening. So this is abusable on Hotel especially. There's other maps where this is potentially viable as well, and it's rather strong, right? I don't expect Infinity Ward to make any changes here, and what is to stop somebody? This is, you know, you've got to break this hard point to win the game. What is to stop somebody doing this? Is this allowed? Is this within the rules? Is this reasonable? Is this fair? Probably not, but as Donny Temp says from Vegas, now out of the season, of course, I was so checked when Skies killed me on the Hotel S&D Major 5, so this is a different story, but not too dissimilar to what we just mentioned. I was a moving target D1 desk and just instantly died through a wall, and this is the thing, right? How overpowered is this? Very overpowered, arguably. You can do it too, though. Everyone is capable of doing this, and in fairness, if someone's on a good head glitch, maybe they deserve to get counted in some respects. But look, a team's not going to do this just because it's against what you could argue to be competitive integrity. The competitive integrity has been out the window for years at this point. Pretty much ever since Cellium decided that he was going to snake anyway. That's at least where most pros seem to think that it came back to. Back in the day, the pros had a bit more integrity. Yes, there were dodgy things happening, but when Cellium was snaking a lot back in Infinite Warfare, they banned him from 8, and they decided after Major 1, I think it was after Stage 1 playoffs that year, to, you know what, let's calm down the snaking. Nowadays, though, it's all free game. They do what they want, and gentlemen's agreements exist in terms of weaponry and sometimes stuff like that, but often they kind of go out the window, especially in key moments, right? That was the thing before. It's like, well, if you ban snaking and don't let the pros snake, if it's game 5 round 11 1v1 for champs for the dub, is he going to snake the head glitch? He probably is. So this is the talk then from Ben in the replies. Has there been any talk of GAing this for champs, right? Because it's obviously an issue in the game. I'm not necessarily sure it's intended to be used as it is in the game as it stands, and it arguably ruins the way the game is played to a certain extent and gives, well, options that shouldn't really be there. But as Slasher says, can you trust these pros nowadays to GA it? Of course, it's funny, when Slasher ever mentions GAs, it's always a little bit controversial just because he does have Cellium on his team, right? And of course, maybe the pros nowadays would be G'ing things if it wasn't for what Cellium was up to a couple of years ago, but whatever, that's bygones be bygones to some respect. Can we trust the pros to ban it? No, according to Slasher, so therefore it's not going to happen. What does this mean for champs? How do you guys think this might affect things? Is it going to completely ruin the state of the game? Are we going to see every team abusing this from round one? Is it going to affect the viewing experience as well? We see pros do exactly what Skies did, ping a guy, go behind a wall, shoot him straight through the wall. Like, it doesn't really feel fair in some respects, but if someone starts to, what I imagine is going to happen is one team is going to start doing it and then everyone else is going to jump on, right? Because I'm guessing some of these teams have been practicing it in practice as well, right? Because why not? If you're going to do it at champs, you've got to maybe use it a little bit in scrims. So definitely intrigued to your thoughts on that in the comment section below. The other clip I shared there was some Octane discussing who looks the best in scrims. I wonder whether he's kind of saying here, like, the only team they haven't scrimmed, he says, is Toronto, because that's the team they play round one. Outside of that, they've played everyone. Does he mean that Boston and Minnesota are on the same level as New York and OpTic on the other side of the bracket? Or is he kind of just saying that out of the top contenders, the FaZes, maybe the Surge, and certainly the subliners and the OpTics, are they all at a similar level? I wouldn't be surprised if they are. So Octane's opinion is, like, anyone can win this tourney. There really is no clear favourite going into it. I think that I would say that FaZe, to me, are marginally the favourites, but I mean, would I take FaZe or the field? I would absolutely take the field, right? We are definitely not living in the same universe as we were in Cold War when you went into that World Championship thinking, well, are FaZe going to win or is anyone else going to win? It was difficult to say, and you probably still would have leaned FaZe, to be honest, despite how they performed at Major 5 that year, just because of how good they were. Speaking of FaZe, though, I wanted to mention this in Breaking Point. Start, bench, cut, Hydra, aBeZy, Pred. I don't think there's any real wrong answers here. To me, it depends whoever your team is, right? Because if, for example, you've got Simp on your team already, then do you need Hydra or Pred? Probably not. You need aBeZy in that case. But if you've got a cracked out, aggressive SMG like a CleanX, do you need aBeZy? No, you'd probably bench him or cut him or whatever and bring in Hydra, something like that. I think right now the easiest to cut has probably got to be Pred, as remarkable as that is, but that just shows how good aBeZy and Hydra I think have been lately, so that's kind of my perspective on it. But intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Just quickly on Priester as well, because a player that has definitely flown under the radar, and he hasn't been spectacular this season by any means. He was great at the start of the year for sure, but his World Championship successes are pretty impressive actually. After a couple of rough times in 2016, 2017, since then, third in World War II on FaZe, second of course on 100 Thieves during Black Ops 4, then second on FaZe in Modern Warfare 2019, fourth in Cold War, and yeah, didn't attend last year of course because Minnesota Rokkr were terrible, but this year he is there on the subliners with you know, the chance to get another second place. I mean, I don't know, it's going to be tough for Priester, but it would be nice to see him get over the line for one time, because definitely I think he's had a rather underrated career. But very much enjoyed to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.